Hello, friends, and welcome to the new studio. I have set up a new office for myself because starting next week I'll be working from home a few days a week, and so now it's another new location for the studio. I'm out of the basement and now on the second floor of our house. I'm realizing as I'm talking now I'm going to have to do a little sound softening in here, so I don't know if you can hear the kind of like echo. Let me actually hit go live over on Facebook too for our Facebook viewers. So that's getting going. Alrighty, so welcome to the Monday night chat with me here in the new office, I guess. Office/studio. This used to be the room that we had for Imani, and now it is my office so that I can work from home starting next week, 3 days a week, at least for the next 3 months, so that I can continue to breastfeed as, you know, when I go back to work. It's a lot of change is going on, but I like it, and I set up a little, I don't know, kind of nice little soft background. We'll work. I'll play with it. We'll work with it. And I'm pretty happy with how I got everything set up here. I know you can't see the whole room, but I did a really careful job, like tucking all my cords away so everything's nice and clean on my desk. And I got a new chair in the corner. I got a new chair that I'm sitting on. So kind of took advantage of Wayfair had a big sale and got ourselves a couple of chairs. So thanks for watching. Hi, Amy. Amy's watching from Facebook. I've got my mother's watching from YouTube. And if you're watching in the replay, thanks for checking out this week's update. So I'm actually going to share what's working for us because Amelia, our baby, is sleeping through the night. And this wasn't a fluke thing. It was not just once. She's now been doing it for several days. I want to say like 5 days now. She's been sleeping for, well, so that we only have to get up at most once in the night. Before it used to be every 2 or 3 hours. Now we've had a couple nights where Bert didn't even have to get up, which good for him. I still have to get up though because I have to pump. Otherwise my boobs get too they're not ready to make it through a whole night's sleep yet. So so I'm going to share actually what's working for us, because I see in the like moms group that I'm in online that a lot of people having trouble still with like figuring this out. So I thought I'm going to make it a video, and I might even do like a finished video for this. But for now, at least it's here and I can direct people to it. So here's what's working for us. First of all, a lot of this is from Taking Care of Babies. She's got an Instagram account and she also has videos. Taking Cara, and that's Cara Babies. So it's a play on her name. Her name's Cara. Awesome. Perfect. Well done videos. They're perfect. And honestly, I feel like it's the cheat code to babies, especially infants. We started this probably at the 10-week mark. I think she was 10 weeks old. It was in the middle of the night. I'd heard of Taking Care of Babies several times and didn't look into it until like one night I'm like, I have to try something different. I can't take this anymore. I cannot keep waking up every 2 or 3 hours in the middle of the night. So I went and downloaded it and started watching those videos that night. I paid the $99 for the infant set of videos. The videos are short, very concise, easy to understand, easy to implement. Literally by the next night, we were seeing changes. She was already doing better. So I'm going to explain, and I'm not going to give away her whole program, honestly. Like, if you want the whole program, go and download it, because I'm going to give you the outline of it. You'll understand how easy it is, but to get like the full thing, you may just want to just go ahead, pay the $99 or go to her Instagram and follow what she does. But I will give you the idea of it, enough so that you could try it. Okay. So here's what it is. It's a following the intervals. Yeah, the time intervals in between sleep. Eating and wake periods. So you want to make sure your baby's eating every 2 to 3 hours. And actually, it's more like if you could get her to, or him or her to 2.5 to 3 hours. That's the sweet spot, okay? If you're feeding the baby every hour, then they're not taking in a full feeding, and then therefore they're going to keep on, you're perpetuating the, wanting to eat over and over again, in shorter cycles. So you want to give a full feeding every 2 to 3 hours, okay? That's key number 1. Key number 2 is babies have a wake period at that age of 60 to 90 minutes. So if you can put those 2 things together and do it in this order, eat or feed, play, sleep. Okay, so you're putting down for a nap when you start to see their sleepy cues. And also, if you're feeding for more than a half an hour, I've heard many times that the baby is then burning more calories than they're taking in or something like that. So you want to make sure that you're kind of cutting them off at a half hour. I mean, personally, I do 15 minutes on each breast. If you're bottle feeding, it's just, when they're done with their bottle, because you know that they got a full feeding then from the number of ounces they got. So for me, the feeding takes a half an hour, and then she plays anywhere from another half hour to an hour. And play, for an infant is tummy time. It's down on the play mat. It's, somewhere, something that is stimulating them in any way. Really, something for them to look at or play with, interact with. Go for a walk, try and do one of your in between naps every day. Go for a walk with baby, or at least go outside and get some fresh air. It's awesome for them. Okay, so does that make sense? So your wake period starts basically when you wake them up from the nap. You're feeding them right away, and that's the start of their wake period, when you start feeding them when they wake up from their nap. Okay, well, it starts when you wake up from their nap, but I'm really good about starting the food right away because I use an app called Baby Tracker, and there's a free version and then there's a $5 version. The free version is just fine. The $5 version, it unlocks if you're really into like reporting and stuff like that. But I only use it for tracking when we start when I fed her. So you can see here, right at the top here, I started feeding her 26 minutes ago. So Bert has her now, and he can also see this because he has the app and where they're synced. So he knows that she started eating 26 minutes ago. So that tells him 2 things. One is that her wake window started 26 minutes ago, and she has about a half an hour to an hour before she's going to want to be down for a nap. And then he also knows that if she's still napping when we hit the 3-hour mark, we're going to wake her up. And that's only during the day. So that way she has, if you do the math, has had all of her full feedings throughout the daytime. So she's no longer hungry when it comes to bedtime. So that's the trick, guys. So when she gets down to 7 o'clock at night, put her in bed, her tummy's full, she is happy, she is going to sleep a full night's sleep and let her body do its thing, and grow as she sleeps. Then she'll wake up in the morning. For us, she's been waking up around anywhere from 4 a.m. to, what's the latest she slept in? I want to say it's like 5:30. And I know that still seems super early in the morning, but if you are used to getting up at 11 and then 1 and then 3 and then 5, baby sleeping all the way from 7 p.m. until 4 in the morning, that's incredible, right? Our best sleep so far has been 5:30 p.m. all the way till 6:30 a.m. So that's 11 hours. It was amazing. And that was like a full day of her, being stimulated outside, made sure we had all of our feedings and all of our naps. Okay. Let me know, do you have any questions about that cycle? Okay. So I pretty much just gave away what you learn in the taking care of babies thing, and that's for infants. This cycle changes, I think, when you hit 5 months, is when you're supposed to do something different. I haven't bought that program yet. I can't tell you what that is, but I'm at 3 months now. We started this at 10 weeks, and we're hitting 13 weeks tomorrow. She's been sleeping through the night for give or take a week, okay? So within 2 weeks, I had my baby sleeping through the night. I think you have to kind of get started on this between 10 and 12 by 10 and 12 weeks at the latest in order for it to work. If you wait past that, I don't know what happens, but that was like the recommended and what I had read. Like, it's not too late if you start by then. I'm going to check out the chat here. Hey, thanks for noticing the new office. Let me know if you have any feedback about if the sound is weird or if you're hearing weird things or seeing weird things. Let me know. I love that feedback. Will your new daycare provider conform to the schedule? Yes. So that's actually a great segue. Thanks for asking that. But let me just finish up on what's working for us here, because there's one more piece to this. And also let me add, the cool thing, if I don't know if Androids do this, but iPhones do, the cool thing too with this app is you can actually add it right to your home screen. So it's right there. I don't even have to log into my app. I can see right there the time is 29 minutes. And it's like, it's a counting clock. So I just have to pick up my phone and be like, oh, she's been up for this long. Okay, so that's pro tip number 1. Pro tip number 2, and actually Taking Care of Babies also suggests this and even recommends this one sleep suit along with other options. But the one that has been amazing from us was a hand-me-down from my friend Kelly, and it is the Magic Merlin sleep suit. It is, it looks like a sleep suit with their arms straight out and their legs straight out. You're like, oh my God, how is the baby going to get in this thing? How do they move? Our baby loves it. You think it's too warm. Here's the thing. Just put them in there in like a short sleeve onesie. I even do a long sleeve onesie sometimes, and then like no pants, or don't put any like extra feeties or slippers on them or anything. It's nice and cozy. It is just enough like restraint for them when they have that it's on the tip of my tongue, the reflex, the Moro reflex. Moro, is that right? So, and that's often when they're babies, what wakes them up is like they're laying there and their body, I think it's something like it twitches so that the brain knows that the baby's still alive. It's a survival type of thing. But when they twitch like that, that's what wakes them up and starts them on the whole crying thing. So this thing, they twitch enough, but not enough to wake them up. And so that's what's the great thing about the suit. It adds just enough like comfort and, without worrying about, swaddling or anything like that. These sleep suits are fantastic. I had trouble at the beginning, like figuring out how to get her arms into it, but now it is like easy peasy. Her and I have a little thing. All you have to do, just bend her little arm. I reach my fingers through the armhole and I kind of like pull her little fingers through, and she even kind of like just straightens them out now. And then when I'm taking her out, she knows just to bend her arm and they come out. So you and baby will learn it together. It seems like it's like, oh my God, I'm going to dislocate her shoulders getting her into this thing, but it's not like that at all. Yeah. And so the Magic Merlin suit is pro tip number 2 to go along with this. And then the final thing is the Taking Care of Babies. What is it that I'm not sharing with you? She demonstrates this really cool way of putting your baby to sleep. Now, after doing this, and if you're consistent, and that's important, you have to be consistent with the schedule. She shows you how to put them to sleep at the beginning. And that includes turning them away from you and then shushing them while kind of like jostling their head a little bit. Okay. Now it's not shaking your baby. It's just, if they're facing you, they're locked on you and they're stimulated by your face, right? They want to stay awake. So if you turn them away, they can't see your face, and you hold them and they're up against your body, so they're still close to you and comforted. They're in their sleep suit, and you just kind of rock them and jostle their head just a little bit, because guess what? That's what's happening when they're inside of you. You mamas, when you're carrying them, that's how they felt inside of you, and it was very comforting. Okay. So I had to do that, I don't know, for maybe a week. And I had my parents babysit like the second or third day that we were doing this thing. And I sent them 2 videos from the program and be like, can you please do these 2 things? This is the schedule and this is how to put her to sleep. So they know how to do it. And so jostle until baby just kind of like, you can see her eyes like from the side start to close. And then right before she's actually asleep, you actually want to lay her down, feet, then butt, and then head, right? Okay, because if baby's back hits the ground first before their feet, they think they're falling or just fall, and they're gonna startle awake. And then once they're down and they're still slightly awake, they're aware of where they are. And that's important because if they're completely asleep and then they wake up and they're no longer where they were before, that's scary, right? Like, how would you feel if you went to sleep in your bed and you woke up somewhere else? So these are the details that the Taking Care of Babies video goes into detail about, and will actually show and demonstrate and go, that's where you, if you wanted to learn it all, that's just do it. It's the best $99 you'll spend. I would give it away for free, but honestly, this woman deserves every penny from everyone that benefits from it. I'm just trying to help you. Like, if you're watching this and you need to get your sleep and get your babies to start sleeping better, I want to help you get on the right track. Okay. Now we went over the app. I gave you all the hot tips. I gotta say, now putting her down for naps, I don't even have to jostle her anymore. We're so in this rhythm that she literally just will take her passy. She'll lay there awake. I'll walk out of the room and she will be asleep most of the time. Then there's the other thing where she spits her passy out and like fusses. We have to put the passy back in. She fusses, spits it out. We put it back in, and then that's it. Like, she wants us to like come in. Like, it's almost like she's testing to make sure that we're still like knowing that she's there, that we're like watching, So we have a monitor and we can hear her fuss. And it's just a sound monitor. I don't even have to, watch her. Bert has the video thing on her. He checks on her sometimes. But anyway, so that I don't even have to do the whole jostling thing anymore. She's falling asleep. I can just put her down and walk away most of the time. It's incredible. Okay, so great question in the chat here is, will your new daycare provider conform to the schedule? So cool thing is, I went to the daycare center last Thursday. Her first day is technically tomorrow. First full day. I drop her off, she stays there, and then we go pick her up at the end of the day. Last week we had a play date, which was part of the program where, parents come with the babies and they kind of observe the classroom for a few hours, up to 3 hours. And you get to talk to the teacher. So I brought Amelia in, and she was in her car seat, and I put her on the floor by the other kids in the class. And all the babies came crawling over to check her out. It was the most adorable thing. And I started talking to the teacher, and she explained how I think they feed the kids every 3 hours. And I said, okay, well, she's feeding anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. And she said, okay, that's fine. I said, we're following the Taking Care of Babies thing. She's like, oh yeah, I know what that is. I'm like, perfect. Okay, cool. So yes, they do know, and they do ask like what our schedule is. And the cool thing about our daycare is they have an app where it actually asks when was the last time they ate, last time they pooped, and what time did they last wake up. So they can continue the schedule. How awesome is that? It's so cool. I have been, putting feelers out. I was like, I met a lot of my neighbors this past week, and they had a fall block party. And a lot of them have kids, and I was asked, like, hey, where'd you put your kids in daycare around here? And they were saying different places. And one of them I was talking to, they said, well, where'd you sign up? And I told him, and he goes, oh, that's the good place. How'd you get a spot in there? I couldn't believe it. I was so happy to hear that. I'm like, that was the only place we checked out, and we really liked it when we went, but I had no idea how it compared to other places. So to hear that it's actually one of the good places, I feel so much better about taking her tomorrow and leaving her there. I already felt okay. Like, the teachers are great, the classrooms are great. It's just a really hard thing to do. She's only 3 months old. I've been attached to her every single day for 3 months, and other than having my parents babysit for one night when we went to a wedding, like, I haven't gone more than 4 hours or so away from her. So tomorrow's going to be a hard day. Yeah. So Yeah, they're going to follow our schedule. Tomorrow's Halloween. Amelia is officially 3 months tomorrow because she was born July 31st. So October 31st is 3 months. I'm going to put her in a cute little bunny. She's got bunny ears on this little onesie. It's super cute. She looks adorable, of course. And then I was supposed to have physical therapy in the afternoon. And I noticed that something was wrong on the schedule, so I called them and they're like, oh shoot, can you come at 9:30 in the morning? So I now have physical therapy right after I drop her off. So I have to go. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it'll get my mind off of it and keep me focused on trying to get somewhere on time after I drop her off, rather than dropping her off and then having several hours, before I really have to be somewhere. I think I'm mentally prepared. I already gave them all like her diapers and her extra clothes and everything that you're supposed to like leave there, in case they need it. You give them, what wipes and everything. So basically she has her own stuff. The only thing that we have to bring tomorrow is the milk, which I've been storing up the pumped milk and doing a great job with getting that supply. And now, yeah, it's just, tomorrow's the big day. Tomorrow's the big day. Thanks for celebrating that she's in the good place, Marcus. I appreciate it. I don't have my chats to put up on the screen today, but I do see your chats. Oh, thanks, Amy, that the office is homey. Good. Yeah, I was like, I need a nice warm lamp and added some warm colors over here. Thank you. Thanks so much. And Bert, this is Bert's idea, putting one of Amelia's little toys on the table here. But yeah, thank you. Maybe I'll keep adding a little bit to it. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, not bad for a one-day turnaround in here. So many changes. So I think that's pretty much my update for the week. We're doing great with the sleeping, and I've had, I don't know any other, if you're a first-time mom, tell me if you're a mom, actually, just tell me if this happened to you too. When you finally started getting sleep again, did you then start remembering or having dreams and or nightmares? Because I've had nightmares, I think 2 or 3 days in a row now. I remember one of them. I don't even want to share them. They're so horrible. But basically, it's horrible things happening to my baby, and I just, it's horrible to it's great getting a lot of sleep, but it's horrible having those dreams. I don't know. Is it just me that happens? It's kind of like when you start a new job, you have those nightmares, like right when you first start again. Do you guys have those too? Maybe that's just me. Some people don't remember their dreams. I remember my dreams a lot of times, and yeah. Oh yeah, and Bert added this too. I think last week we talked about how she started to mimic our sounds. So she's been like making more noises like goo and coo and oohs and ahs. She's doing, and it's like adorable because it seems like she's trying to converse with us. Sometimes we repeat the noises back, or sometimes if we're just talking to her, she just like gurgles back at us, and it's awesome. We can never get it on video, and no one ever is around to actually see it. So you guys just have to take our word for it. But it is amazing, and it happens every day. And it's like, it's just awesome. It's so cool. It's really cool to just see her developing day by day. Bert says, to include that she can spin herself at night too. So we've been putting her down. We always put her down the same way. So her head closest to like where the monitor picks up, at that end of the crib. The other day, she was a full 180. So her feet were where her head was. And I think she just kicks her legs enough in this thing where it like spins her enough. It's kind of weird. And then Bert found her like a 90 degrees turn. And it's just bizarre that this is happening. So I don't know. I don't know how much longer she's going to be in this suit, or if she's just going to be a little animal in her crib cage. Yeah, so lots of things happening. We're always impressed with what she's doing. Do you also have sleeping tips for adults, Marcus? Marcus, maybe watch the replays so you don't have to watch my live at 1 a.m. I appreciate you watching, but maybe you have a small addiction to watching your friends on YouTube. which is a wonderful thing. You're so supportive. I don't know when you sleep. It's crazy. I wonder about that a lot. Having nightmares sounds reasonable, processing all the change and fears. That's exactly right. And my therapist would agree, because my therapist is always like, do you have any remembered dreams? That's exactly what he says every single week. And sometimes I remember them and I say, nope, don't remember, because I don't want to talk about them. Therapy's hard sometimes, you know. Bert is suggesting to have wine but to fall asleep. Wine has sugar in it, and any kind of sugar for me makes it hard to fall asleep. So I don't know, maybe the opposite of that is like, don't have anything with sugar like after a certain time at night. Like I say 6 o'clock or at the very latest 8 o'clock, but we go to bed much earlier now. So like no sugar after 6 o'clock, and that should help you fall asleep. Amelia's first big adventure starts tomorrow. Exactly. So it's Halloween tomorrow. It may snow here. That's not very fun. I will share with you guys a sneak peek of her little photo shoot that we did for her 3-month today. Okay, so you guys get the sneak peek of it. Oh, there we go. I mean, how precious is that, right? So I'll be sharing that on our social media tomorrow. Yeah, I was gonna put her in a pumpkin because that's what a lot of people with babies are doing, and I didn't carve the pumpkin. Instead, I put her next to the pumpkin just in case when I put her in the pumpkin she was crying, and then I've ruined the pumpkin. So I don't know. We will see. I may do an indoor, pumpkin picture tomorrow because it'll be too cold to do it outside tomorrow. So we'll pick her up from daycare. I don't know when. Maybe earlier than 5:30 because that's the latest we can pick her up. Maybe we'll pick her up early afternoon so that we can have her in her little bunny costume when all the trick-or-treaters start coming in the late afternoon. Yeah. Oh, and Mom, I see your comment too. How did we parent you without all this information? I seriously think about that all the time. Like, how did they do it? How did we survive? Sometimes, what was the show? I can't even remember. Oh, we were watching, Bert, what's the chemistry? Is it called Chemistry? I can't remember what the name of the show is. So basically, this woman has a baby. Really, really good. It's a great series. There's not a lot of great TV on lately, but I really like this one. And this whole episode from this week that came out is about her being a new mom and how miserable it is and all the lack of sleep and everything. But it's in the 50s, I think, takes place in the 50s or 60s. And she has the baby in the hospital and then just carries her baby out of the hospital and like drives home with the baby in her arms. And it just kind of, I don't know, makes me, it just made me smile, like how far everything's come with safety for babies. And in our country, in the US, there's our own guidelines of like safe sleep, and then in other countries completely different guidelines. Like in other countries they're like, yeah, put blankets on your baby, and in the US they're like, don't put a blanket on your baby, they will suffocate, that is how they're gonna die. Thank you, Bert. The name of the show is called Lessons in Chemistry. Highly recommend. Great show, very wonderful and well done. Great acting, great writing, really like it. I'm glad that you like the picture I showed you guys. So that's the latest. I go back to work officially on next Monday, so my live stream will be fresh off of me working a full day and trying to take care of Amelia because she will be home Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and somehow Bert and I will figure out how to take care of her while we're both working. So I think the plan is that I'll start working at like 6 a.m. to make up for like the breaks I'll have to take during the day, but we got this. I'm gonna put her little play mat right down on the floor right next to me in the office, so she'll be able to kick it while I'm working, and then I'm right down the hall from the nursery, so everything will be really close. We got this. We're doing it. We have to. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for the compliments on the new space and then encouraging me and pushing pushing through all this, and I'll see you next Monday and let you know how it goes with the first day back to work, and also how it was bringing her over to daycare. Thanks again, and I'll see you next Monday. Bye.